Welcome back to Lady Game Conversations, your safe space for real talk, personal growth, and leaning into your feminine power fully. Here, we stay feminine, we stay strong, and we stay winning. Let's talk. In today's video, I'm going to break down why high valued women know the power in waiting instead of settling, and how being alone can actually help you attract Mr. Right. Let's get into it. So let's get into the scarcity mindset, right? Scarce. Men are scarce, right? That's the mindset you have, the lack thereof. So you're like, oh gosh, I've kissed how many damn toads? Where the hell is my prince? Where is he? Okay, where are you? Yes, that mindset will kill you every time. It'll get you. It'll get you. And you'll start to think that there aren't any men. So when that one man who really doesn't deserve you, but you're just like, oh my gosh, he's talking marriage, he's talking kids, but you know damn well he is not worth your time. Really. You're not aligned, you're not equally yoked. He's not for you, but you feel like, well, gosh, he's the only one who's interested. He's the one who's talking. He's the one who's telling me what I want to hear. That's exactly what he is. That's all he's doing is telling you what you want to hear. You don't know him. So don't allow that scarcity mindset to ruin your present or your future because the Mr. Right is out there. So what if I told you that being alone could actually be the best thing for your love life? We're going to get to it, but before we do, be honest. Have you ever stayed in a bad relationship or just got into a relationship just to avoid being single? Do you know anyone who's done that? Let me know in the comments. Let's chat. So let's get into the benefits of being alone, right? Because there are so many, but I'm going to give you three top benefits that I actually discuss in my book, Lady Game, out on Amazon and Kindle. But I go into it because it's so important and I wanted to share my experiences with everyone because I know how terrifying, how scary it can be to be alone. So, one, self-discovery, right? When you discover yourself, you start to discover all kinds of things about yourself, what you like, what you want in a partner. I've discussed in previous videos that you're a reflection of that partner. You're manifesting who you are, right? You want to know exactly what you like because if you don't know what you like, how are you going to let somebody else know what you like? You need to discover who you truly are, right? For example, when I was single and I was practicing being alone, I would take myself on dates. I would take myself to spa dates. Valentine's Day was a treat because I thought to myself, I said, you know what? I'm going to spoil myself. I want to spoil myself exactly how I want my husband. Didn't have a husband at the time, but my future husband, I wanted to learn how to treat myself the way I wanted my future husband to treat me. If I went to the movies, I made sure that I had plenty of snacks in my purse. And I'm not supposed to do that, but I had plenty of snacks. I knew how to treat myself. I brought a blanket. Like I really took care of me. Like I spoiled me half to death. Okay. And that's what happens when you discover yourself. You start to learn things about yourself that you really hadn't paid attention to because you were distracted. But when you're alone, you are hyper aware of your surroundings, of what you like, even different movies. Yoga. I started doing yoga when I was alone. I had never even thought about yoga. I mean, I'd known people who did yoga, but I had never wanted to do it. There was no interest. But I started, stepping outside of my comfort zone, going with friends who I probably never really went out with at all, and started just venturing on new adventures. And it was exciting and it was so fun just to learn about myself. It felt great and it's so empowering. So that's something that I think that is very important, self-discovery. Number 1. So let's get into benefit number 2, emotional independence. You will not have to rely on any man to feel complete when you learn to be alone, not in the least bit. One thing that I learned in being alone is I learned how to keep myself busy, but not with busy work. So during that time, I wanted to work on my personal growth. I went to school, I got my degree. I started just learning a language, picking up different hobbies. I went out more. I went to parks. I went to church more. I hadn't gone to church in years, but when I was alone, I was searching for a deeper sense of self. And so naturally, I felt emotionally independent. Like I didn't need to go out with a guy after a while. Like if I was in a dry spell, I didn't even think of it as a dry spell. I'm like, well, good. That's perfect. I don't want to get ready. I don't want to have to throw on my makeup. I just want to sit in the house and relax, make a delicious breakfast, watch a movie, or go buy myself a steak and cook it and put some potatoes with it and have a glass of wine and relax. I was emotionally independent. I did not count on a man or anyone, not a friend, anyone. I would, from time to time get lonely, but for the most part, I was completely emotionally independent. I didn't look for that need, that desire anymore. It was fleeting. I'm not saying that it was completely gone, but I didn't feel as sad and as lonely as I did when I learned how to keep myself busy and worked on my personal growth. So, number two, emotional independence. So, let's get into benefit three, the mindset, the high value mindset. Now you have worked on yourself, right? You have been alone. You know what you like, you know what you want, you've been on your own. Now you're whole, now you're happy. Now you've had a mindset shift. And now you're of high value because now you value yourself. So you're not chasing some man, right? Not at all. You're attracting like magnets because what you have inside now is confidence. Okay, you are confident in your ability to get any man you want in the room, right? You're walking in the room, no bother. You feel good. You're not craving and desiring that need for a man. No, you're walking in because you're like, well, if I don't find one tonight, that's okay. I'm going home. I'm going to relax. I have a whole thing that I do, a whole process. I'm going to go home, face mask, maybe take off my makeup first, face mask, wine, throw on the Golden Girls or throw on a show that you like. I don't know, whatever show you want to watch, but you have a process now. So you are confident. You are not worried about taking somebody home or finding Mr. Right. You're going to attract him when it's right because you're going to be aligned, but you will see the difference because they're going to attract to you. They're going to cling to you like honey, moth to a flame. It's going to be beautiful. So that definitely is the best benefit of all. Now I want you to pay attention. A woman who is comfortable with being alone will never beg a man for love. She will attract a man who adds and who only adds to her life. Question time. What's one thing you've learned while being single? Let me know in the comments. So let's talk about the obvious, okay, my darlings, because I understand I'm saying all this, but what do you do when that loneliness takes over? How are you to be alone when you feel lonely? Well, I've got 3 tips. Let's get into it. The first tip, shift your mindset. I'm always going to go there because it is a mindset shift. Being alone does not equate to being lonely. That's the shift, right? It just means it's time for personal growth. It's time to grow. Okay, so now is the time to focus on you. So let's get into tip 2, and that is leveling up. We want to level up, right? This is the time. Work on that body, girl. Okay, let's get in the gym. Let's work on our fitness. Okay, let's work on our finances. If you want to go to school, you want to get a degree, or you want to get, some type of certification in something, it doesn't matter. But whatever it is, it's time to focus on you. It's time to level up because you're trying to attract who you are. You want to attract somebody with drive. You want to attract someone who is successful. You want to attract you, right? If you are trying to manifest, you're manifesting who you are. So now it's time to level up. Let's focus on that feminine energy and how we can use that to level up and attract Mr. Right. The last tip, and I think is the probably one of the most important tips, but it shouldn't be number one. It's my top 3. But it's setting standards. Ladies, please please, for me, set standards, realistic standards, but set standards. Do not let men just walk all over you. And this is why it's so important to really conquer that fear of being alone, to just be alone within yourself. You have to set standards. If a man is not calling you, don't call him, don't chase him, don't text him, nothing, right? You have to set standards. You have to set boundaries. You have to set them because if you don't, that man will set them for you. And trust me, you will be lowering your standards when you don't set them for yourself. Case in point, when I was single, I would make sure that if you did not call me within a certain amount of time, you weren't getting a call back. It's dating. So I treated men like buses, like 5 minutes, another one's coming, period. That's it. You don't have to wait for some random stranger. That's all they are at this point. You don't know these people. It's just dating. Set the standard, right? If you are a high value woman now because you've gone through all these steps, you know the benefits and you've done the work, well, now you are of value. Okay? Act like it. Set the standard. Make sure that men are treating you the way that you deserve to be treated. Okay? So what have you learned, ladies, right? To summarize it, let's just make it simple, right? A woman who enjoys her own company, who just loves the skin she's in when she's alone, she doesn't need a man, right? It's not about needing a man, but that confident, comfortable woman, now she's going to attract a great man. And that's where you want to be. So, ladies, to my single ladies out there, what's the best thing about being single? Let me know in the comments. So, me, when I was single, not single anymore, but when I was single, I know the best thing about being single was having sole possession of the remote control. Don't have that anymore, but that was probably one of the best things, being able to just sit in front of my TV, no one yapping in my ear. I'm watching Love is Blind and no one asking me a million questions about who did what and why. So let me know in the comments what's the best thing about being single. So, if you've made it this far, ladies, you have learned a little bit about why it is important to be alone, the power in that. And just remember, being alone doesn't mean being lonely. This is now the time to grow, to reflect, and get ready for what's next. So, if you're in a season of solitude right now, sweetheart, use it. Use this time to fall in love with yourself, okay? Because when you know your worth, you're going to attract other people who see it too. So if this resonated with you at all, let me know in the comments. Drop a little cute little heart just to let me know. And then just tell me, what's one thing that you've learned about yourself in this solitude season? So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, turn on that notification bell because in my next video, we're going to be talking about dating do's and don'ts. Until next time, thanks for watching.